That mosquito never had a chance. Not because it was slow. It was moving. Not because it was visible. The dragonfly's brain had already predicted its flight path before it moved. The dragonfly kills 9 out of 10 prey it targets. 95%. Lions manage 25. Great white sharks, 50. Peregrine falcons, 70. Nothing on Earth hunts like this. And at 12 degrees Celsius, this system shuts off completely. Dragonflies have been here for 325 million years. They predate the dinosaurs by 100 million years. They watch them arrive. They watch them dissipate. Their world is shallow water, ponds, wetlands, slow-moving rivers. Not because they prefer it, because they have no choice. Their larvae live underwater for up to 5 years before emerging. One adult season, sometimes as short as 6 weeks, to hunt, mate, and die. 6 weeks to justify 325 million years of engineering. Every morning, before it can fly, before it can hunt, it has to warm up, because evolution built the most sophisticated aerial predator in history on a platform that requires precise thermal conditions to function. And that's the trade. Start with the eyes. A dragonfly's compound eyes cover 280 degrees of visual field, nearly the full sphere around its head. 30,000 individual lenses, each feeding a separate signal to the brain. But that's not the impressive part. 80% of its brain mass is dedicated to visual processing. Not flight, not movement, vision. The brain doesn't react to what it sees. It predicts where prey will be. It calculates trajectory, speed, and interception point in real time, and flies directly to the point of impact rather than chasing. Not pursuit. Interception. The forelegs form a capture basket, 6 legs locked into a cone-shaped mid-flight. When the intercept calculation lands, the basket closes, prey is inside, and the wings. For wings, each controlled independently by separate muscle groups, each capable of adjusting stroke angle, amplitude, and frequency in real time. The result, a dragonfly can fly forward at 56 kilometers per hour, stop instantly, fly backward, rotate 360 degrees while hovering, and change direction without losing target lock. No aircraft built by humans can do this. A machine this precise should be invincible. Run the specs. Hunting accuracy, 95 out of 100. Aerial agility, 97. Target prediction, 96. Visual processing, 98. Wing control, 94. But there is a dependency. Thermal dependency, 35 out of 100. Cold weather function, 15. Operational window, 3 to 4 hours daily. Season viability, 4 to 5 months maximum. The system is real. The limits are just as real. This is what happens when evolution builds the greatest hunter in history and powers it with a biological engine that runs on sunshine. Here's the problem evolution couldn't solve. The dragonfly's flight muscles are powered by biochemical reactions that only function efficiently above 12 degrees Celsius. Below that threshold, enzyme activity in the muscle tissue slows too fast to generate the wing frequency needed for controlled flight. The hardware is perfect. The fuel system requires a narrow temperature band to ignite. Biology versus thermodynamics. Which one wins, and what does that mean for every living system, including ours? The dragonfly's genius comes from 4 biological innovations. Each one comes with a tax. The flight muscles need to reach operating temperature before the wings can generate lift. Below 12 degrees Celsius, enzyme kinetics drop below threshold. Wing beat frequency falls from 30 Hz to under 15. Insufficient lift. The dragonfly cannot take off. In temperate climates, morning temperatures are below this threshold for 6 to 8 months of the year. A dragonfly in those regions has an operational window of approximately 4 hours per day, 4 months per year. That's 480 hours annually, out of 8,760. Evolution solution: bask in sunlight before hunting. Warm the thorax to operating temperature. Every morning. No exceptions. It's an aircraft that has to sit on the runway for an hour before it can taxi. The cold is one wall. The heat is the other. Above 38 degrees Celsius, the same flight muscles begin to overheat. Wing beat efficiency degrades. Coordination between the 4 independent wing controllers breaks down. The dragonfly's operational thermal window is 26 degrees wide. Sounds large, but in direct sunlight, body temperature can exceed ambient air temperature by 8 to 12 degrees. On a 30-degree day, a dragonfly in direct sun may be operating at 40 to 42 degrees. The behavioral response is obelisking, positioning the body vertically to reduce heat absorption. It's manually managing its own temperature because its biology can't do it automatically. The dragonfly spends up to 5 years as an aquatic larva. It is still a predator underwater, ambushing smaller prey, but it cannot fly, cannot use the system evolution spent 325 million years perfecting. After metamorphosis, adult lifespan, 6 to 8 weeks. The 95% kill rate, the predictive brain, the 4 independently controlled wings, deployed for 6 weeks. After 5 years of development, imagine building a Formula One car for 5 years, running it for 6 weeks, then destroying it. The system is too expensive for the time it runs. Formula One car for 5 years, running it for 6 weeks, then destroying it. The system is too expensive for the time it runs. The final constraint isn't temperature. It's geography. Dragonflies cannot complete their life cycle without standing water. As wetlands disappear, dragonfly populations collapse faster than almost any other insect group. The 95% hunter can't exist without a habitat that's vanishing at 1% per year. Evolution built the predator. It forgot to make the predator portable. When conditions are right, temperature between 18 and 32 degrees, direct sun, midday. This is what that number looks like. The prey is a mosquito, moving at approximately 1.5 meters per second, 40 centimeters above the water. The dragonfly doesn't track it. It calculates the intersection point and flies directly there. The mosquito arrives at the same moment the capture basket closes. Elapsed time from launch to capture, 0.4 seconds. The mosquito made 3 evasive movements during that time. The dragonfly had already compensated for all 3. Same dragonfly, same location, different temperature. At 10 degrees Celsius, the thoracic muscles are below threshold. It cannot generate the wing beat required for flight. A mosquito lands 3 centimeters from its head. It cannot reach it. The most accurate predator on Earth, grounded by temperature, not by failure, not by injury. By a 12-degree threshold its biology cannot cross. Evolution had 325 million years to solve this. It didn't. Not because it couldn't find a solution, but because within the conditions where dragonflies live, thermal dependency was never a fatal disadvantage. Warm days existed. Prey existed. The system worked often enough. Evolution doesn't optimize for worst-case scenarios. It optimizes for average conditions. So it kept the predictive brain, because nothing in its ecosystem could outthink it. It kept the 4 independent wings, because nothing in its ecosystem could outmaneuver it. It kept the 95% kill rate, because nothing in its ecosystem could survive it. And it accepted the thermal tax, because most days, in most seasons, the sun comes out. Here's what evolution actually built. The most accurate hunting system in the history of life on Earth, powered by a biochemical engine that requires 12 degrees Celsius and sunlight to start. A fighter jet that needs the runway heated before it can take off. 95% accuracy. 1 degree from grounded. Evolution's most perfect predator. With a thermal kill switch it never managed to disable.